Hey, what is up everybody? This is Caticus, and today I'm going to do a totally amateur review of the effects, or the Empress Effects Zoia. Okay, so unfortunately my camera has this thing flipped around backwards. It's not actually backwards in real life, I promise. But this is the Empress Effects Zoia. It is a fascinating device. It is an all-in-one effects pedal. I mean, it has so many built-in effects. It is a synthesizer, it has LFOs, it has oscillators, it has a plethora of different effects, and it is such a cool device. So in this video, I'm going to go through it. Of course, this is from the perspective of a totally amateur, so basically somebody who just loves these kinds of things as a hobby and not somebody who's professional and knows everything about them. So I'll give you my best perspective of the hardware, of the operation, of some of the built-in effects, and some of the effects that, or the pedals that I have made in it, because you can make different pedals in it, and we will go from there. So I'm going to flip the camera around and give you guys a view of the outside of the device. So see you guys in a second. Alright, so I've decided this time I'm going to do something that I don't usually do. I'm going to show you the box and the contents of the box, like the things that the box came with the hardware point of it. The reason I don't usually show the boxes for things is because usually the boxes are ginormous boxes. There's the Polybrute box, and I mean, I don't know, it's too much to show in the video. But I think the Empress Effects Zoia comes in a really nice box, and it comes with some nice little additions that I was happy to get with it. Nicely surprised. So first of all, here's the box. It's got some nice artwork on it. Very cool, and all looks like personal and stuff. Very neat. And inside the box, this charger here did not come with it. I have a story about this in a second. So inside the box, it comes with two MIDI, like TRS to 5-pin MIDI adapters. That is so awesome. I recently bought the Korg SQ64 sequencer, and it has MIDI, like mini MIDI jacks, like this right here, and it doesn't come with adapters, and it is really hard to buy the right adapters in China, like pretty much impossible. They have the wrong MIDI, MIDI protocol. So there's MIDI A and MIDI B, and it's just the way that the wires are connected inside. And all the wires that you can buy in China are MIDI B, whereas the Korg SQ64 comes with MIDI A jacks, and so buying these was impossible. So it's nice that these were included in the box. There's my foot in the camera. It's nice that these are included in the box. Really nice touch. You also get a really nice color instruction book, and it is all written in a perfectly laid out way. All of the instructions I find extremely easy to follow, and they've given me great insight into how the device works. Actually, I don't usually read manuals, so the fact that I read this one is a testament to how easy it is to follow. Quite cool. You also get a mini SD card or micro SD card. I put it in the device already. It's a 16 gigabyte micro SD card, which is enough to hold, I think, thousands of patches. So it's like tons of storage. And then you get the adapter so that you can put it into a laptop or a like USB to SD card adapter. You also get this spacer right here, which holds the two like micro to or like TRS to 5-pin MIDI adapters in there. You get a warranty card, some stickers. That's a nice touch. Some stickers. Another warranty card for the Chinese warranty, I guess, because I live in China. And then this thing. Arrgh. What is this thing? A welcome guide. Cool. Maybe a quick start. Just tells you what you got and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of nice. But if you buy one of these, you will need to buy a power adapter for it. And funny story about that, on the back of the device, it says the kind of power adapter that it needs, which is, let me see if I can get this in view, positive on the outside and negative on the inside, 9-volt DC 300 milliamps. Actually, I have tons of the right size, but they're all positive on the inside and negative on the outside. See the little icon right there? So it was quite frustrating that I actually did need to order a power adapter, and I wanted to play with it so badly that I started going out to electronics stores all over where I live in Tianjin, China, looking for one of these universal adapters, and so many stores didn't have it until finally I found this one. It was basically like $2 or $2.50. yeah, cheapo thing. And I plugged it into here. Like I set everything up. I plugged it into the Zoia, and it turned on, and I could go through the patches, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I made myself a simple patch, and that was neat too. And then I selected another patch, and it froze. And I selected the same patch, and it froze again. Selected the same patch, and it froze again. And the Zoia kept freezing, and I was worried that I had a defective Zoia. So this is something important to note, is if your power adapter isn't up to the task, this thing will freeze. I got a new adapter, a good adapter, one that I ended up paying like $15 for, which is quite expensive in China, and like from a pedal store, a store that sells pedals, and it works perfectly, and I can go through all the patches that were freezing it before. So the reason it was freezing was because of the power adapter. And the funny thing is, this thing, after about an hour, started buzzing and humming and making all these scary noises. Like, it's just such a piece of crap. So anyway, make sure you have a good power adapter for this thing. Make sure you get the right one. So let's look at the device, the outside of the device. You can see this grid right here, and that is for making patches and setting different like features. Like if you select a reverb, it'll use up like this many of the like squares on here. You can have multiple pages for a single patch, but let's say you just make like a simple one, you got a reverb right there. You'll have multiple things for the single reverb. And the reason that is because there's a left input and a right input and a left output and a right input, and then the ones in the middle will be like variables that you can set, like how much reverb you want and how long you want it to reverb and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of cool how it's all laid out. You'll also see little letters right here. So if you want to name a patch, you don't have to scroll through A, B, C, D, E, F, G like that. You can just spell it using these. That's a nice touch too. You've got 4 little buttons right here, just like these ones. I should quickly say the button press action on here is quite nice. It's not like, for example, drum pads where they just like press and they register. It actually presses down like buttons, and it feels very similar to pressing buttons on a video game controller. There's some nice travel between all the buttons. You can't really hear it, but there's some nice travel. It feels satisfying. They're not mushy. They don't wiggle around a whole bunch. They don't feel cheap at all. They feel really good when you press them. Same with these ones. Same button action, same whatever is underneath for all of the buttons. You've got 3 switches right here. They're called stomp switches. I just learned that. They are not the dual action ones, so they're not like click in, click out. They're single action, so it's just, it feels exactly the same for each press. I don't know how else to explain it. Like on some of the switches, for example, on my Eventide H9 Pro, the on off, you can actually feel a difference. It'll like click, 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 click. With this one, it doesn't. It's just a single action. I hope I explained that. You've got the rotary knob up here. It's clicky. It's satisfying feeling. It also presses in to select things. So when you're like moving through a menu, you can click it in to select it. Very satisfying feeling. There's almost no wiggle in the knob itself, except for like the mechanical action of it might give it a little bit of a wiggle, but it's like solid in there. Doesn't feel loose at all. It feels very solid, very well done. It is a metal box, a fully metal box. I think most pedals are. It's got this, as you can see, a sparkly gray painting on it. I actually thought this would be textured when I saw it in other videos. And it's not. It's completely smooth and glossy. So if you're wondering about that, it's smooth and glossy. There is no texture to it. It's nice and solid. You can feel that there's lots of air in between, so it's not like so solidly packed, kind of like hollow, but it's not too light. It is a little bit lighter than I thought it would be, but it's not too light at all. It's substantial feeling. It shouldn't move all over the place. If it's set somewhere and you press the buttons, you're not going to feel it moving around because it's so light, nice and heavy. So nothing on all the sides except for the inputs and outputs over here. So let's have a look. We've got 2 inputs, 2 outputs, so left and right, left and right. So it is a stereo pedal. That's quite nice. You've got your power plug right here, or like power hole. I don't know. What's the technical name? You've got your MIDI in and out. They are stereo MIDI in and out. And again, like I said, they come with the adapters for them. So there you go, to the 5-pin MIDI like you're used to. And then you've got a control port right here. So you could put a pedal in here, and in the config area, you could set what the pedal does. So for example, like turning the effects on and off, or like adjusting reverb, whatever you want. You can actually have a lot of control with an extra pedal plugged into there. So that's it for the inputs and outputs. Oh, and there is, of course, the MIDI or the micro SD card slot right here. It's not the kind where it like clicks in and clicks out. That kind of threw me off a little bit. It just wedges in there, and as you can see, sticks out a bit. I was kind of expecting the traditional ones where you put it in, it goes click, click, and it's inside, and then you got to kind of like dig your nail in there to get it to click back out. It's not. It sticks out a bit. Erg. Okay, so that's it for the device. That's it for the outside of the device. In the next part of the review, I'm going to dig into the features, take a look at the OLED screen there, and some of the things that it displays, and how to make a patch, and we'll go from there. And also some of the sound demonstration of what it can do. Okay, see you guys in a second. Okay, here we are. The device is on. So, these are all your keys, like I said before, to do different things. On this patch, it'll do something different, but I will show you first how the rotary knob works. If you haven't selected anything, then the rotary knob will go through the different patches. So let me zoom in a bit. You turn it slowly, it'll go slowly through. You turn it quickly, it'll go quickly through. So it amps up according to how fast you turn it. So if we go to Duck Friends, so that's the first patch on here. It's playing automatically. That's not another synthesizer you're hearing, that is the pedal itself. So it does have oscillators built into it, and you can basically build a synthesizer up to a certain amount according to whatever your CPU usage is listed right here. So this one uses 91%. I could probably put like another effect on there if I wanted to and put it up near 100%. You don't want to pass 100%. I don't know what happens when you do, but maybe it just doesn't work. So if I turn it back on here, very simple. There's another nice melody in here called a melody. Let me just find it. Where is she? A melody. Here we go. This one's really pretty. Listen. So this is really cool because this is built using just the pedal itself. Like I said, it is its own synthesizer if you want it to be. So it is an effects pedal, but it's also a synthesizer. And I'm going to show you another patch in a second where you can actually play with it. I think it's called Plaything. Let me just quickly find it and get ready. Yeah, it's called Plaything. I'll show you this in just a second. But I wanted to like just again mention that this is such a cool pedal. In my opinion, if you're not the kind of person who buys all sorts of different effects pedals, you're just like, you're somebody who's like me, you like different synthesizers and you'd like something great to be able to process the effects and you want like a simple pedal, you have a couple options for like multi-use pedals. And one of my options, the first thing I bought was the Eventide H9 Max. And this thing is absolutely full of some really wonderful effects, and it's nicely built and everything, but the key thing is it's got great sounds in it. But in my opinion, this is a much more versatile option for being able to do effects. One of the problems with this thing here is you're limited to one effect at a time. Now, if you have an iPad and you use the app for it, I believe you can stack a couple effects together, but I'm not sure how versatile it is. But this thing, like I said, you're only limited by your CPU usage, and each effect might use up to 30%. So you can stack a few effects. Some of them are as low as 10% of the CPU. So you can stack a lot of effects, and you do it all yourself. And at the end of this part of the review, I'm going to show you quickly how to make an effect on here. Just something simple. It's so easy, and it's actually really fun to do it. But if you're looking for an all-in-one pedal, something that you can really use with all of your synthesizers, and you want something that you don't have to buy 25 pedals for, this is a great option, such a great option. But anyway, let's try out Plaything here. I'm going to turn it on. When you press the bypass button right there, it turns it on. and I'm going to play some stuff. This is called Plaything. All these are like notes of one kind of synthesizer, these are notes of another kind of synthesizer, and these are little effects. So let's try the little effect first. So pretty. Now try this one here. Very cool. I'm going to pause it for a sec while I find another effect to showcase the synthesizer going through the pedal for the effects. Okay, unpausing it here. Let's try something simple on here. It's just a piano. Okay, now let's turn this on. This is a really dirty effect called crunch time. Listen to that buzz. Nasty. Let me pause it for a second and find another effect. Okay, again, back to the regular piano. Cool. Now, let's turn on the effect. All right, let's find another one. Okay, this effect here is called So Loopy. It is really cool. It takes the signal and mangles the crap out of it. So first, I'm going to turn this off. We're going to hear just the regular piano. So you can hear how generic it is. I mean, it's nice piano sound, but you can hear what it's like without the effects pedal on. Now let's turn on the effects pedal and have a listen to how it changes. Now I won't play, just listen and wait. Give it a sec, it should do something. Come on, pedal. Kick into action. I know you're gonna do it. Maybe I haven't played enough things. That's weird. Should be triggering. Hold on a second here. Okay, here we go. Now it's basically self-oscillating. Well, not self-oscillating, it's playing back what I did, but it's also mangling the crap out of it. Now, I don't know what that would be useful for, but it's also worth remembering that this is just a preset in here, and it's showing you what this pedal can do. Now, it has obviously a range of notes that it can re-trigger, because it does generate some of its own notes in this patch, and that is determined by whoever made the patch. So you can set a range of up or down, or of specific notes. You could tell it how often to play them, what speed to play them back, whether to bend them. You have so much control over what you could do with a patch. And luckily, or thankfully, there are so many great tutorial videos on YouTube about how to make different patches and how to use the different modules inside, which is something I should show you in a second. But first, I'm going to go to an empty patch, or actually first I'm going to show you a patch that I made, very simple one called Reverb. Let's just go to it right now. Scroll all the way down to patch 61. There we go. It's just called Reverb, and I'm guessing you can guess what it does. So it's a very simple patch. Let's turn it on. I'll show you what it sounds like. First I'll show you what it's like with off, just as a reference point. Then I'll show you what it sounds like. Then I'll show you how I built it. And it's so easy. Okay, so with it off, it sounds like. And with it on, it's a beautiful reverb. Very nice. So how did I build this patch? Well, it's really simple. Let's go to an empty one right here. 61 is empty, no name on it whatsoever. So what you do is you start by adding a module. So just click an empty one and it will say, what do you want to build? And there are so many different categories to choose from. There's interface modules, audio modules, control modules, analysis modules, and effects modules. But we're going to start with interface. That's how you interact with the device. Click on interface. We're going to give it an audio input. Click that there. Choose the color if you want to. See, right now it's red. I can change it. Let me just try to get my hand out of the way. Change it between a whole bunch of different colors. So let's just make it blue. Okay, go back to done. Click that right there. Then I'm going to put, right beside it, I'm going to put an output module. So I'll click on this one right here. Interface modules, go to audio output. Done. Now, why is it 2 per module for the input and output? Well, because this is L right there, left, and this is R, right, left and right. So input, left and right, output, left and right. I don't like this color, so let's just quickly delete it and do that again. Delete. Okay, that's empty. So click on that, audio interface, audio output, choose the color. Let's choose something very different. There we go, red. Okay. And done. All right, so I've got an input and an output, and it should let sound come in and go out. But we want some sort of an effect to go through. So we click on this one right here is empty. Go down to our effects modules right here, and I want to put a reverb just like I had. Let's do a room reverb, a hall reverb, or a plate reverb. I'm going to go for a plate. I love plates. And again, we can change the color if we want to. Let's go for purple, noise, or pink. And done. Okay. So how do we connect these things? Well, if you look right here, there's input, plate reverb, audio in left and right. And then on the very end is left and right. All these ones on the middle change different variables for the reverb. But right now we're not connected between the outs and the ins, or the ins and the outs. So we hold left output for our audio and left input for the reverb. Right input, and there we go. So now the signal is going into here, but now we got to go from here to here, and here to here. So all I did was connected the audio input left to audio input left on the reverb, audio input right and audio input right on the reverb. Then I come out of the reverb into the out on here. So the signal is going to go into the reverb and then out to the output. And with that selected and ready to go, it should it works. If we turn it off. And building on this is really simple. I'm just going to delete this reverb. You don't actually have to do it the way that I'm doing it right now. I'm just doing it because it's fastest, okay? So now the outputs, or so the inputs are going to nothing and the outputs are connected to nothing. So I click on here, go to reverb, I'll go down to the effects down here, go to plate reverb. The color is peach. Okay, sure. Done. Then I'm going to add another effect right here. Click on effects modules. I'm going to go down to Chorus right here, it's white. I don't like that color. White is too generic. Sure, what was that? Lime? Okay. Done. So now I have input and input and output, reverb, and chorus. Now the chorus only has one audio input, just left. And it only has one audio output. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the input. Sorry, let me just make this proper. I'm going to connect the input to the input on the reverb. The reverb is stereo, so input, input. Okay. Input goes to here. Then we're going to go from the output right here into here. Now we've got a left and a right output, so we'll go left into here, we'll go right into the same one. So both those signals are going into here. We've only got one output here. There is no right output. So here to here, here to here. All right. Now we should be sending our signal into here, and back out to here. So let's have a listen. I'm just going to make sure that the chorus is turned way up so we can hear the change that it makes. Okay. Right now, without any signal. Cool. Let's turn it on. You can hear that like wow, 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 because the chorus is set so high. But I've just basically made a patch that is a reverb and a chorus together. And if I come out of this screen right here and look at my CPU usage, it's only 37%. So I could build further onto this patch, and I could do all sorts of crazy things with it. So quite nice and quite easy. I can also name my patch by clicking on here. And patch name, let's just call it this, like that. Click on that. Click on that there. Let me see. Would you like to save the patch now? Press save. Oh, right. Hold this and this. Patch 61 saved. And now it's called Tom Roller. Cool. Tom Roller. That's an accidental name and it worked out. So if I go to reverb, it's there. And if I go back up here to Tom Roller, it's there. And I've got it saved. So it's really cool what you can do with this pedal, the kind of effects that you can put onto any of your synth sounds. Taking something like, for example, and I hope I'm not going to upset anybody here, but I think a lot of the sounds from the Voyager XL, it's a Moog, and lots of people like Moog, and they like the Moog sound, and lots of the bass sounds are wonderful. But when you get into the higher notes, it can sound really dry. I don't think it sounds bad, but it sounds really dry. To give you an example, let me just press a few keys on here. Cool, but quite dry. However, if we turn on our Tomler and have a listen, Tom Roller, it makes it sound, in my opinion, a lot better, but that's also probably because I like effects. So it makes for a wonderful effects pedal. But beyond that, it just makes, I have a habit of buying gear that I think will not only sound good as an instrument, but be a fun thing to play with. And in my opinion, this is just such a wonderful thing to play with. You could plug it in and have it going out to speakers, have a MIDI input, like a MIDI controller going into it, and make some really crazy like synthesizer out of it, and just play with it all day long. You could make a dual oscillator synthesizer with a reverb and set all the notes yourself and just play with it. Like, there's so much you can do with it. In my opinion, it is a wonderful pedal, synthesizer, effects module, toy. It's just such a wonderful thing. Let me just flip the camera around and conclude this review. All right, so there you have it, my totally amateur review of the Empress Effects Zoia. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I hope you found it informative. Again, in my opinion, if you are a hardware enthusiast, you like synthesizers, drum machines, and groove boxes and things like that the way that I do, and you just want something, one thing that you can have for all of your effects. Instead of having all these different effects processors or effects pedals or relying on the different effects that your synthesizer might have, this is a wonderful option. It does take a little bit of like work, because you have to make your own patches. There are patches built into it, but ideally you want to make your own patches that suit your needs. But it's very simple to make just a reverb or just a chorus or just another kind of effect like a phaser or flanger or something. It's very simple to make something like that and to make it sound really good, to have a lot of control over it, and then to save it and have it always ready for you. So this, in my opinion, is a great all-in-one effects box. And it's not just suitable for synthesizers, it's not just suitable for guitars, it's good for pretty much any instrument that you can plug in and run the sound through, or run the signal through. It's great for anything like that. I use it for synthesizers. I wouldn't use it for guitars because I don't play guitar, but I think it would be great for that too. So anyway, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I already said that. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and I will keep making more videos. Hopefully they continue to be helpful for you. See you guys in the next one. This is Caticus, out.